Abby, can you hear me now? Okay, so if you have any questions, what'll happen is I'll do the little intro, I'll do show some weird videos, and then you'll see me when I do an intro for you, and then there will be a crazy story thing that shows up, and then you'll come on. And I'm gonna try and make it so you can hear the show. Usually I can't achieve that, but at least you can see it in that window. Okay, cool. Do you have any questions? Yeah? All right, I like it. Okay, I'm gonna switch to a different thing so you just hear the show audio. Do you hear it now? Groovy music. Okay, cool. Okay, everybody, here we are. It is Labor Day. Super hot here in Los Angeles, and we're about to go into lunch therapy to cool off, to set aside any kind of trouble that you might be having out there in that crazy world, and just have a little bit of fun. Today, we have a special guest. Abigail Arnold-Ochs is on here to tell a crazy story, because it's Crazy Story Monday. So let's get into this thing. All right, here we are. So it is breathing time. I'm going to get a little music here. Okay, so glad to see you all here on Labor Day weekend. We're going to take in a couple of breaths, but first I just wanted to say this week is wide open. We have a comedian coming on Wednesday, and on Friday we're going to interview Michael Monks. He's another fantastic actor, and we're going to hear what he has to say. But first, in through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it out. In through the nose, out through the toes. Let's see who's here. Ganil, we can all hear you. Oh, that's cool. Yes, we still hear you. I do look hot, Joel. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so you know me and audio. I can never make it work. Abigail's waiting in the wings. A lot of you know her, a lot of you don't. Sexy, sexy Joel Marshall, sexy man. I've got some stuff that we're gonna investigate here. First of all, Heather Marshall promised that she would send pictures of the puppy. That's my sister-in-law. So here is a little bit of the new puppy that they have named Fozzie. That's George right there. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing Abigail here. So that's George and Jack and their new puppy named Fozzie. I'm feeling a little bit more chill now, even though it's it's like 115 degrees here today. It's supposed to get up that high, which seems outrageous. But I'm all cooled off right now. So yeah, so there's the new puppy with George and Jack. And here is Puppy Meets Cat. They have a cat named Kinks. I think I spelled it wrong. I think it's with an X. I can rectify that, I believe. So there's Fozzie over there. I don't know how you introduce cats to dogs, but you do the best you can. Best that they meet each other while young. I've never had luck with it. I've never had luck with cats liking each other at all, let alone dogs liking cats. What can you do? What can you do? Let's see what happens here, because they are going to meet. And it's coming. Wait for it. Wait for it. Kinks is ready. He looks like he's going to pounce. Oh, here comes Fozzie. Fozzie's moving in. He's smelling. He's doing what dogs... And he's backing up. And that's enough for today.
He'll go after the pit bull, but not the cat.
All right, let's get on to the main event. The main event is Abby. She's here. She's waiting in the wings. She's hanging out with Boney. Let's just see if she survived. I'm going to be bringing on right now for Crazy Story Monday. Got a crazy story I don't understand. Come and have a cup of tea. Seems like I should have got a Netflix deal. Instead I got some therapy. Crazy story, yeah. Crazy story, yeah. Abby, so good to see you here. On lunch therapy. How are you doing?
Trying to stave off insanity.
Are you? That's good. You're in the right place. You're in the right place. There's a lot of insanity staving off going on. Ginny said she was looking forward to you, and now here you are. We have another comment here. Our cat is the alpha 2, even though our dog is 10 times her size. So that's this kind of stuff we talk about. Ginny says you're looking good.
Oh, thanks.
It's nice.
I'm in Connecticut with my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is it there in Connecticut?
I mean, it's not 121 degrees like I heard it is in LA.
It's terrible.
It's all right. There's mosquitoes, so we're dealing with that. But one of my dogs learned to swim.
Oh.
So
wow.
that was cool.
That's fantastic. How many dogs do you have?
2.
2. And what kind of dogs are they?
Street mutts. They're like oversized dachshund mixes.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was exciting.
That is pretty cool.
I was like, yay. Yeah.
So I hear that you have a crazy story for us.
Yes. My crazy story is I won a lottery to see Usain Bolt win the 100-meter sprint at the 2012 London Olympics.
Tell us about it. How did that occur? And what happened?
All right, so I was living in London.
Yeah.
And they announced that they were having the Olympics. And I guess they wanted, Joe Schmoes to be able to go. So for most of the events, they had an online lottery. And you could sign up for as many events as you wanted to go to. And I signed up for 14. And this is a year and a half, 2 years before the Olympics. And I didn't get any of them. and my roommate got like 2 events, and I was like, damn it.
Was it really hard to win the events? Like, what was the probability?
They didn't say, but like if you can imagine, like there's 12 million people that live in Greater London, and
Wow.
I think anyone in the UK could apply. So that's like what, like 88 million people.
Wow.
So maybe for like some of the event, I don't know what are the not as popular events. Maybe there was like a higher probability.
But
for
you
track
won
and
the
field,
like the
there's
top
obviously-
prize. Did you win the top prize?
I guess. I mean, so I was married at the time, and like we moved to Taiwan before the Olympics happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get this email like 4 months out saying like you've gotten a ticket for like this block of time at the track and field. And I was like, oh, that could be cool. Like, I wonder what events are taking place at the track and field, because track and field, they would like give you like a 2-hour time slot.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would like shuffle people in for 2 hours and then shuffle them out. And there'd be like 3 or 4 events. There'd be like one medal ceremony and maybe like a semifinal or a qualifier and something like that. And then I looked at the events and I was like, oh, okay. Like, I think there was like the 800-meter final, and then it said 100-meter men's final. And this is like the second time that Usain Bolt was going for the gold.
Yeah.
So he was like a heavy favorite. And I was like, you've got to be kidding. Like, this is like a joke. I'm really, really pessimistic. So I never believe it's happening until it's like happening.
Yeah.
So
You thought it was a hoax, maybe?
Yeah, maybe it was a hoax. So I signed up for it, and we sent the tickets to my ex-husband's parents' house in Essex. And then we were moving to Singapore, but we flew back to see them and to go to the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And we show up at the park, and we've like taken the train in, and I'm still like, there's no way we're going to see Usain Bolt run this event. Like, something's going to happen, like, or we're not going to be able to see. You had no idea like where your seats were in the arena.
Uh-huh.
But I knew they weren't like low down.
Yeah.
I think I'd looked at the stadium, and we were like up high somewhere, and I was like, we're not gonna be able to see anything. So we go into the arena, and we're sort of like behind where the 100 meters is going to start, because most events, like, they start sort of like on the circular part of the track or on a straightaway, but the 100 starts almost like behind.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like up and then like behind where that is. So I was like, you know what, this is like amazing, but we're still not gonna be able to see him win, because it's a 100-meter dash, and we're behind the starting line, like at an angle, at a diagonal, looking down at where they're running.
So now you're not satisfied. So you got what you didn't even believe that you got.
Yeah,
and
so
now
I'm still like,
you're like, I'm not really satisfied
yeah,
with this.
so
This is not good enough.
I'm still like, we're here, but A, we're not gonna be able to see him, and B, we're not gonna be able to actually see him win, if he does win, because we're at like a bad angle.
I think that's just proof that when you get what you want, you just want something else. There's never that like, hey, this is great. You're like, we're not really going to see him win. So then what happened?
Yeah. So, I mean, I was nervous up until they started the race. I was like, they're going to kick us out. Like, we're not going to be watching. This is like a historic event. Like, Usain Bolt is like the biggest like sports star in the world. He's going for like his second 100-meter gold medal. Like, he's got the world record. Like, there's no way. There's no way I'm going to be here witnessing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they start the race. And you see them, and they get about 50 meters down, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, this is exciting. We're not going to be able to see who wins. But then this guy, like, he's got like a 20-yard like spread on the rest of the field.
Really?
And it like happens like about a third of the race in. So they're all running. And then all of a sudden it's like, view in the 100-meter dash. So like for the most of the race, we're just like looking at like, he's winning. Whoa. You can see him winning. We're like up high in the nosebleed section, like, this dude is winning the 100-meter sprint by like,
no one was even close.
100 meters.
Really?
And
like 100 meters.
Anyway.
Yeah. They're all stopped. They're in shock.
You can see him win. He wins by a mile.
Yeah.
And then it's just like 15 minutes of like the entire stadium just like stood up, like screaming and shouting, and everyone's hugging each other. Even most of the people in the stadium are like, I was wearing like a Great Britain sweatshirt, so I was rooting for them at that point.
Yeah.
And like everybody's rooting for like Great Britain to win, like the other event.
Yeah.
But nobody cares because he's such an amazing athlete, and he's such a star, and it's like so historic that just everyone's like high-fiving and like screaming, and then after it happened, I was like, oh shit, like now I can say I was here and it happened.
That's cool.
Anyway,
so
that's my story.
We have a question from somebody in the audience. They want to know if you've ever been in a cult.
I feel like there was one time where it was dubious.
Oh, yeah?
Like, I've definitely been to, like, a meeting. I can't even remember where it was. I think it was, like, some sort of nutrition. Like, they brought you in because it was, like, a nutrition thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was, like, in Singapore.
Was it a multi-level marketing cult, or was it a cult?
I'm pretty sure it was a cult, but they brought you in like thinking that it was some sort of like nutritional like workshop or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost signed up for it. And then I was like, something seems really off about whatever this like group is. So I think I'm going to avoid it. I can't remember the details, but I do think that I came close.
A nutritional supplement cult.
Yeah. Yeah, it was when I suffered from psoriasis for a number of years, and that was before I went vegan. So I was like really in that like, I'm pulling my hair out. I need to find something to like save my life.
Yeah, clearly.
Situation. And that's when they get you. They
clearly
get
you can't
when
remember
you're,
because
like,
they erased
sick.
your memory. Were there years
like,
that you can't remember, perhaps? Is there some, I
mean, yes, but for other reasons.
Because you blocked them out of your mind. I would like to know if when you won the tickets to Usain Bolt to watch him win, were you in a particular mindset when you bought it? Because one time I won a big prize. I was working for a law firm. I won a big prize. But that day, the day that they were having the raffle, I said to myself, I'm going to win the top prize. And I said it in a way that was like, it was already done. I don't have to think about it anymore. I have just won. And then I ended up winning, strangely enough.
I mean, I know what you mean, because that's happened to me in different situations. Like, you just have this like gut feeling that you're going to get it.
Or
it wasn't
certainty.
quite like that.
Yeah.
But it was definitely like, if I'm going to get one of these things, this is the one I want it to be.
Yeah.
Like, this is like the biggest event of the Olympics, of that Olympics. So that was definitely, actually there's some, oh God, I can't remember his name, but there's this amazing middle distance runner from Great Britain who was up for like a gold medal that year. I think that was like his first Olympics. And then he went on to Rio and also won, but he was like a huge deal after that Olympics. So that, I think we saw his semifinal, but like he was a huge star. So I either wanted it to be that but really you wanted it to be the Usain Bolt final.
Would you? So some of the people in the chat room are asking if you'll join our cult. It's called the Cult of the Hummingbird. There's no nutritional supplements that we sell, and you don't have to pay anything.
Oh, right.
And you can leave at any time.
Oh, right.
Yeah? Is that a yes?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, good. So we have a new cult member. Our cult is growing by the minute, I think. So do you have any other crazy stories that you'd like to share while you're on the show?
I was trying to think of some others. What are some other? I'm sure I have some.
Yeah, I'm sure you do too. But now I just put you on the spot.
There was one time where I was supposed to meet a friend in Ibiza. and his flight got delayed. And then I ended up on a yacht with someone from USC who I didn't know, with the bartender from Pacha, the club. But I think that was just me being gregarious. I don't know if that's particularly crazy. I was also like 20, so, 20-year-old girls tend to rule the world, don't they?
Yeah, they do. All right. Well, thank you for being on the show, Abigail. And we appreciate you joining our cult. You will be receiving a lot of mail, just so you know. You can make sure that you give us your address, and we're just going to fill your mailbox with all kinds of propaganda.
Right. Well, in 4 weeks, I'll expect that.
Okay, good. And your mom will continue to get mail long after you're gone.
She really wanted to watch, but I was like, don't clog up the internet. So she's going to watch the replay.
Yeah, you've hung in there.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for being on the show. We'll send you a shirt because Ganil says you get a lunch therapy shirt for being on the show.
Dope. Okay.
That's cool, huh?
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Okay. We will see you soon. Take care of yourself, and don't let your dogs swim too much.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. All right, see you.
Okay.
Well, that was fun. Amy Schumer addresses that Ibiza sitch in I Feel Pretty. Interesting. I recommend that we check that out. I'm going to go into the Trash Panda comedy room here. Jenny says she never got a lunch, and you never will, Jenny, and you never will. Jenny's going to be on later on in the week, telling a crazy story, I believe. So I hope that you'll join us. I have a couple of things to share here. We're going to share a couple of internet things here because let's just see what Ganel has. Five shirts. Jenny, how many shirts do you have? Okay, that was Abigail. Thanks so much for being a good sport and being on the show. We are now going to go into the Trash Panda Comedy Club, and tomorrow we'll look at some other goofy stuff. So one of the things that I wanted to just talk about was when I was a kid, I had a friend who was a very, very close friend of mine. We did everything together, and we used to take a log, just a big old log, and we'd throw it out into Puget Sound, and then we'd go out there and we'd sit on it for, I don't know, hours. Sit out there in the freezing cold. And the water was so cold that it would, give you hypothermia, but it didn't for us for some reason. So I was really good with cold water back then. And but since then, I have become extremely afraid of cold water. I don't know what it is. It's like when I get a little bit of cold water on me, it's like I scream and I suck in air at the same time. I'm like, like that. And then my soul just drops out. So I've been taking this time to try and get over my fear of cold water. And it's weird because in my life, I've been confronted with cold water situations a lot. I went to India, and apparently in India, they don't even believe in heating their water for a bath. And I don't understand that. So I was there for a while, and they would have like a big bucket, and you'd have to put a big scoop on it and dump cold water over your head. And every time I'd be like, like that. And they would laugh at me. So I asked one of the guys there, I was like, hey, do you think we could heat up the water before I dump it on my head? And he was kind of looking at me like, why would you want to do that? It's like when you're in London and you say, could I put some ice in my drink? They're like, yeah, I guess you could, but why would you want to do that? So he said, oh, I have a rod, and you can put it in the water and plug it into the wall and heat it up. And it was at that moment that I suspected that he was trying to electrocute me. Because I generally, when you plug something in the wall and you put it in the water, So I never really got over that. I just stopped. Yeah, no. So I just stopped taking showers for a while there. And I never got over that cold water thing. And then I was in Alaska, and at the end of the pier, somebody dove off the pier years before when I was in Excursion Inlet, Alaska. And apparently it's aptly named Excursion Inlet because if you dive off and you get into the right current, it just pulls you out into the sea and you're never seen again. And the water is colder than Puget Sound, so when they're fishing and somebody falls overboard, they'll look for them for like 15 minutes and then they'll be like, well, I guess he probably died. So when my friends came to me and they said, hey, do you want to dive off the pier? I, of course, said yes. Because, I don't know, we have that thing in our head that is like, I know this is not good for me, but I think I'll do it anyway. So they're like, come on, let's dive off the pier. And I'm like, oh, let me get my ankle weights. So I'll sink a little faster. So we went out there and we dove off the pier, and I immediately, when I hit the water, like that, and my soul dropped out. And I took in so much of the Excursion Inlet into my lungs that I died. Thank you very much. This has been the Trash Panda Comedy Club. And now we're moving into our dance break already, because I have something really special today. I have been looking, as you know. Thank you. Nice death. Soul dropping is never good. I like the way people that they really have a belief in afterlife, or they have a real belief in multiple lives. Sometimes when you die, they say, oh, he dropped his body. That's a lot of times they say that. You hear like people say that. But soul dropping, I don't think that's recommended. I don't think that's really recommended. So ever since then, after I died, I have been living this sort of, I don't know if you ever saw the movie Jacob's Ladder, but it's kind of like that, where you're living a life and you're dead, but you don't know it, and you're just continuing on, and there's hummingbirds flying in the air, and you're kind of underwater and above the water. But back to my story. I have been looking, as you know, for great musicians out there. And I have been doing a deep dive in YouTube to find people that I feel like we should showcase. And I found this wonderful person. Her name is Trish King. And she happens to be singing a song that I think it was like about a week ago. I was on the porch and I was singing it. And I said to Kamala, I was like, what is that song? What is that song? And who sings that song? And I finally realized that it was Queen of Hearts by Juice Newton. I don't know if you remember Juice Newton, but I'm going to refresh your memory. This is Trish King. She lives in Maine, and she's just rocking it out to this fantastic song that I don't know, somehow came up in my psyche. That happened to me. A psychic told me how to reclaim my soul, and it worked. Mulva. I like that story. It dropped out, and you reclaimed your soul. I like it. Yep, we're going to have some juice. We're going to juice it up now. Everybody get ready, because it's time for the juice. I'm bringing the juice. Trish King, ladies and gentlemen, here she is. Sven Dukakis here. He knows all the lyrics to every song. Mulva, we got to get you on. But you got to tell us that story somehow. So I didn't tell you the rest of this. Trish King, I emailed her and said, hey, can I play this song? And you know what she said? She said, I know who you are. You're funny. So there, Guignol, a rousing endorsement. She also said that I could play her song on the show, which is so generous. And I hope she's watching. She could be. If she is, she should give us a message. That's right. You better believe it. Thanks, Guignol. That's Kevin Hogan there. He's also from Maine. These Mainers don't get enough airtime, I think. Okay, check out Trish King's channel on YouTube. Subscribe. And also, please subscribe to Lunch Therapy. I got the subscribe button back down in the corner. So please. I love Maine. I do love Maine too. Maybe Cade is now a big Juice Newton fan as well as Trish King. They're groovy, aren't they? All right. Happy Labor Day. And I'll see you tomorrow.